So I want to say this, if you're in the market to hit specific financial goals like retirement, like your child's education when they hit college 10 to 15 years from now, it gives you a broader perspective to always look long term, to always zoom out, to always focus on what is the main underlying condition of the US stock market. Hi everyone, so what are you supposed to do when the market is down? By the time I'm making this video, we have seen a lot of the major indices in US markets continue to go down, but it's not just the US markets, we're seeing it also in European and Asian markets as well. And a lot of that has been predicated by so many reasons. And as you all know, while all of this is happening, we are still in the midst of a pandemic. It's not yet over. There's still current tensions in Ukraine and Russia right now. With all of that going on, all of the supply chain related logistics issues that have been hampering the global trade over the past 2 years is still there. That being said, inflation in the US is higher, and as you've seen also over the past few weeks, we've seen the US Fed raise interest rates, which has accelerated the uncertainty and the bits and pieces of turmoil that we're seeing in the markets right now. And also, for those who have been following me as I've been talking about technology and stay-at-home stock, as economies around the world start to reopen, of course, a lot of those people that have been watching Netflix or have been using Zoom or have been using a lot of those technologies that were very, very useful at the peak of the lockdowns, they have been the ones that have been hit massively. So from Netflix to Zoom to Shopify and so much more. That being said, in the midst of this uncertainty, I'm making this video to be able to give you insight on what are you supposed to do and how can you actually be tactical on how you enter the US markets. Before that, if you might be asking, that sounds good, but I don't even have access to US markets. How can I actually do it? One way for you to be able to invest in the US markets is via Shari Shari. They are an online platform that allows Filipinos to invest in the US markets for $1 only, so somewhere around 50 pesos you get to invest. But what's interesting about them, and I've said them in a lot of the videos, is that they're regulated here in the Philippines. That gives a bit of a buffer and security for those who want that level of regulation as well. If you want to dabble into the US markets but don't know how to do it yet, Shari Shari is a platform that you can try. I'll put links in the description below for you to be able to learn more about them. In the midst of uncertainty, in the midst of crisis, there will always be opportunity. And please do remember, I've said this also at the height of the lockdown, when fear is at its highest, when things turn around, that's when your upside also will be at its highest. Maximum fear, maximum uncertainty, maximum upside. When everything is rosy, when everything is not as fearful anymore, it's somehow easier to invest because it's not as scary. However, when you try to analyze it also, that's when also you lose bits and pieces of the upside. So I want to say this, if you're in the market to hit specific financial goals, like retirement, like your child's education when they hit college 10 to 15 years from now, it gives you a broader perspective to always look long term, to always zoom out, to always focus on what is the main underlying condition of the US stock market. And one of the amazing things about the US stock market, comparing it to other markets, is majority of the big companies, majority of the big brands, majority of the companies that have stood the test of time are based in the US markets. And even if you get the index, even if you get the S&P 500, or even if you get ETF that tracks the Dow Jones, you would do relatively better off also, as studies have shown, and I've made videos about this, that tracking and following the index would give you a relatively better rate of return, especially if you want to be a passive investor. Always think about it from a long-term perspective. When in doubt, always zoom out. Always have an understanding that superior companies always stand the test of time. Superior companies, in the midst of a recession, in the midst of crash, in the midst of uncertainty, find ways to actually do better. How do you navigate this? Always look at things from a long-term perspective. Next, this ties into being long-term. Always look at what your goals are. And as what I've mentioned earlier, if your goal is for retirement 10, 15, 20 years from now, that actually means that you don't need the money today. That actually means that the drops today doesn't have to scare you because you don't need the money. And I've been saying this in a lot of the videos that when I started in my early 20s, the drops that happened in between wasn't a cause of alarm for me, because at the end of the day, if you don't need the money, there's no added pressure for you to panic, There's no added pressure for you to take it out. That's why it's highly important, and I'll say this, if you're trying to get in for the first time, always set your goals first. Why you are investing in the market, why do you want to enter, because that will be your anchor in times like this. If you're in your 30s and you plan to invest up until your 60s, then it should be okay. It could actually be an opportunity also for you to stack on companies that are cheaper, to stack on companies knowing that 10, 20, 30 years from now, when you actually need the money, they would be in a better position as well. If you want to be more specific also on what if there's a recession that will happen, what could I possibly do? How could I be tactical in terms of the stocks that I want to actually position into? One of the things that I always look at, and one of the things that I follow as a investor, I really believe that this is something that's relevant. I focus on not just big brands, but strong brands. Brands that in good markets, they will still have a following. In good markets, people will buy their products. But even in bad markets, because they have such big brands, people will go to them. And please do remember this, that the bigger the brand, the larger the margins that they have, because people would be willing to buy them at a higher price. And that's where the Starbucks of the world would come in, Nike, Disney, Apple, McDonald's. And what's interesting about that is a lot of the stocks that I've mentioned also were not spared. They have been battered. They were hit. But ultimately, if you try to think about it, Nike, McDonald's, Disney, all of these brands have been there even when I was a kid. I'm near 40 years old already. Decades of seeing it, they're still there. But they're not just there, but their brand has become even bigger, better, and stronger. In times like this, when you see drops, focus on companies that have strong brands, because that brand also means something. It represents something. It means that they will have a customer base, a loyal customer base that will continue to patronize their products. Another thing which is highly connected to it is look for companies that have been there for a very, very long time, companies that have staying power. It could be also connected, no, that there are companies that have strong brands that have staying power. If you get both of them, then it's even stronger. Some examples of companies that have staying power: J&J, which is also a brand; Unilever, staying power, which is also a brand; P&G, which is also a brand and has massive staying power; also Microsoft. So think about it, regardless if it's a consumer product or it's a retail company or it's a tech company, the ones that you can get the cross-section of a strong brand and they have staying power, and you get the intersect of that, those are companies that I believe that even if their prices are down, they're worth looking at, they're worth taking the time to actually study, because you have the ability to get some of them at cheaper discounts as compared to where they were at some point in 2021 and at some point at the peak of 2020, when everyone was excited about investing in the stock market because everyone was at home at that particular point in time. Then next, you have to diversify. Part of diversification is having different asset classes. You could have crypto, you could have Philippine stocks, you could have US stocks, but even inside the US stock market, you can buy companies, you can buy stocks that are totally unrelated to each other, meaning you can buy stocks that are connected to renewable energy, you can buy stocks that are connected to artificial intelligence, you can buy stocks that are connected to chip manufacturers, you can buy stocks that are connected to malls, department stores, groceries, or you can even buy the products that are sold in this grocery. So go for the cross section. Strong brand, companies that have been there for a very, very long time, but you can spread them around and you can diversify across these companies as well. So diversification is important, but if you diversify in a company that has a strong brand, if you diversify in a company that has staying power, even better. Nothing beats that if you can get a cross-section of those things. And what's interesting about that is there could be counterplays, meaning Walmart is, of course, a brick-and-mortar store that's now also pushing towards e-commerce, but you can get its e-commerce rival at Amazon. So that's a good counterbalance to it. Or you can also get Tesla and get something that's totally unrelated to Tesla, like Starbucks. Or you can get Coke and get something that's totally unrelated to Coke, like JP Morgan. So those are just some examples, but please don't copy what I'm saying, but please take the time to understand the logic and the principle behind it, because diversification works. It will allow you to have conviction that if one stock falls, it doesn't wreck or doesn't destroy your entire stock market portfolio. Two more things is conviction plays. When markets get battered down, there will be some companies that you study, that you've spent a lot of time, that you've studied the most, that because they have been battered down, it could be really, really good opportunities for you to stack. So let me give you an example, and this is just from my own personal perspective. I'm a big fan of Tesla, and I've made different videos talking about Tesla on why I actually like it. So that actually means that lower prices for Tesla, and it's a conviction play for me for the long term that this is something that I like because of the renewable play, because of Elon Musk, because of AI, because of how nice the car really is, how cool it actually is, and because of their first mover advantage in the EV market and other variables. Drops like this give me an opportunity to be able to stack, to be able to add. It doesn't have to be Tesla for you. Whatever you're comfortable in, whatever you know, the things that you have spent a lot of time knowing and have a competitive advantage versus me, those are the things that you could actually look at and pick up as well. One way also to figure out or at least get cash flow from this is just focus on the ones that have good dividends, meaning, okay, there might be volatility, but as long as the company is doing well, as long as I know that the revenue is there and they have been very, very consistent in giving out their dividends, similar to Coca-Cola, then those are companies that you can also pick, meaning the lower they actually get, your dividend yield at the time you acquire it becomes higher, especially if you plan to hold on to that stock for a longer period of time. It gives you predictability that you can receive something over and over, even if a recession would drag, or even if the market is not as exciting for the next few months. I hope that this was something that was insightful for all of you if you want to invest in the US markets for $1 in a way that's regulated and it's online. And by the way, every time you make a trade, it's commission free and it's $1. So it's something worth studying, it's something worth trying. Check out Shari Shari. We have links in the description below for you to be able to try it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer it to the best of my abilities in another video. And I hope that this was something that was insightful. I hope that you learned from this. This is Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon. God bless you all.